welcome to a brand new episode of Hopstart, your favorite career show, only because I don't actually know other career shows existing. We're kind of unique. We pat ourselves on the back a lot. But anyway, today's episode is especially interesting because I get to interview this company called ILSS, and they actually work with the government in a field that, that just private and public keep coming together lately. So let's go ahead and check out ILSS.
Hi, this is Anu Prasad. I'm the founder director of India Leaders for Social Sector.
Hi ma'am, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to let us interview you. So let's just start with the basics. What is ILSS?
ILSS is basically a leadership and learning development organization focused on the social sector.
Okay.
We design and curate very transformative programs to orient people about the challenges and complexities of the social sector and the opportunities to work in the social sector.
So especially with the growth of the social sector in the last 5-6 years has been astronomical. Would you like to comment on that? How it has definitely grown?
No, absolutely. I mean, with the CSR legislation in 2014, and India is the third largest number of billionaires. So, there is a huge opportunity, and philanthropy is growing. A lot of HNIs, a lot of family foundations, a lot of focus on the social sector. With the government and even in civil society, there's a huge opportunity to get the best kind of talent. There's funding. We truly believe there's good funding coming into the sector now through CSR, through HNIs, through government, of course. And the sector really needs to, as I just mentioned, we are 130th in the Human Development Indices. So we have ways to go. The way we look at it is we need everyone to engage with social issues. It's not an issue just for you and me. Today there's an air, clean air is such an issue that impacts everybody. So for us, we think it's important to build programs that will orient people to what are the challenges and how you can engage, either full-time, part-time, in any which way. So
then would your organization, since it's for younger individuals trying to get into the social sector, not really get into, but teach them the qualities of the social sector. So what exactly does it entail?
So our program is looking to build sort of leadership for the social sector. We run at this point we're running these very intense 9-day programs. They are residential programs based out of Ashoka University, and we sort of sensitize and orient people to what is the landscape of the social sector, what is happening in the space of philanthropy, what is happening in the space of environment, gender, skilling, so that you have if you're looking to move or in any which way you want to understand, you make an informed decision about how you can involve yourself.
So is this primarily through workshops in educational institutions like Ashoka?
Well, Ashoka is where we are hosted, but basically the 9 days is really a context setting for people. We are looking for people to understand, and largely corporates, because we feel like, the two worlds live in silos. So somebody from the corporate world who really wants to have a career with purpose doesn't quite know what's going on. So how do you make a decision to transition or to work when you don't quite understand the landscape? So that's where we come in. We see ourselves as a bridge between the social sector and corporate talent largely. And through our 9 days, we have people that are foundation heads, and grassroots, NGO leaders, activists, academics, of course, development economics. And you understand what does development even mean? And gender. So we get practitioners, we get academics, we get politicians, bureaucrats. So we really give our audience a very holistic understanding of what is happening in the social sector and how you could start engaging. So one of our more powerful sort of sessions is on civic engagement. How as an ordinary citizen in your community, you could sort of make a difference. And it's, when the speaker comes and he speaks, it's very powerful. We find that a lot of the audience really resonate with that.
So it's primarily through like a talk series, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, so it's a series of talks, panel discussions, fireside chats, workshop. We have a systems thinking workshop, which just sort of tells you that any problem is a systemic problem. You can't solve for it in isolation. And that's a workshop we do every time at our program. It's hugely appreciated.
I'm sure, but I would also like to ask then a little bit about your company itself. So what is the makeup of your, like if you're looking to hire someone, if somebody out there wants to join ILSS, who are the kind of people that you look to hire?
So I am looking, we are a 7-member team right now. I'm looking for someone who's passionate. I mean, number one. I mean, you really got to care. And I'm looking for someone who is, agile. Because we do often work in areas of not a lot of structure. We are kind of a startup. We're only a year and a half old, but it's really exciting because we are constantly learning and iterating and growing as we build out our business. So my team comprises people that have skills. Of course, they've come with their core skills, but they're also very open to learning. It's a continuous learning. They are, they're good on communication, transparency. I look for those values, those good values of trust, being a good team player, stuff like that.
Fair enough. And then I'd also like to ask you then, with the growth of the social sector, especially in India, and like you said, post the CSR legislation, definitely corporates have now moved towards this understanding that they have to give back somehow. But there are a lot of arguments about the social sector, as in it's sort of now because it's become on the corporate's burden. Do you think that the state then should move back and allow for corporates to do more social sector servicing, or does it not mean that state is not liable for a certain kind of responsibility?
No, I mean you cannot do anything without engaging with the state.
The
enormity of our problems are such that it's about collaboration. It's about coming together. It's about working together. And in fact, one of the things that we realized very early on when we were designing our program was that for a lot of corporates, working with the government is something
that's what I was coming to.
They're concerned with because they don't often have to do that. But through our program, a lot of the people you will meet are people who have engaged very successfully in a partnership with the government to achieve impact. And ultimately, you can create a model where you don't need to work with the government. But if you really want to create impact, you've got to work with the government.
So then, in terms of, have you had any interactions with like state governments or even?
I mean, as speakers, yes. I've had the education secretary, extremely inspiring gentleman, came and spoke about their challenges. Because see, it's always important when you're learning to see the position or their challenges.
The other side, basically.
The other side. And so, we've had, our exposure has been in inviting a lot of people, and they've been extremely open and happy to come and talk. So we've had, politicians that are working in the education space come. We've had bureaucrats come and talk about their work, their challenges, what they are looking for.
So then I'd like to ask you then, what do you think is one of the pain points of this industry then? I mean, yes, it is relatively new as compared to other older industries, but what do you think is one of the things that we just haven't got right and one of the things that can be better?
I mean, I think that it's just extremely complex and extremely, some of these changes will take generations. To show results. So if you're looking for those quick fixes, those quarter on quarter, no, you need to have patience.
Investment in the long term.
Absolutely. You need to really be driven by something really deep within you to be able to be patiently seeing change. Because it won't happen overnight.
So just to conclude then, ma'am, I would just like to ask you, there are a lot of millennials that watch our show. Any advice to them who want to enter the social sector?
They must. I think everyone must have, be a, active citizen, must have public service at the core of what they do. Because this is your environment, this is your country, this is your society, this is your community. So you're not just doing it for anybody else, you're doing it as much for yourself. So as soon as you realize that you do it for yourself, that's the most important thing.
Fair enough. Thank you so much, Rana. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
2, 1.
Welcome back to Hopstart. And actually, a couple of days ago, Shuvro had the good fortune of interviewing someone from Auric. Now, what is Auric? It's a brand that has Ayurveda as well as wellness, as well as beverage, as well as a whole host of products under their brand. So, to find out more, maybe I'll just throw it over to the expert.
Hi guys, I am Deepak Agarwal, founder and CEO of Auric. Auric is a beauty and wellness brand based on the wisdom of Ayurveda. It is 100% natural and healthy.
Hey Deepak, welcome to Hopstart.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for taking out some time. What are these amazing bottles in front of me? And I just actually had a little bit. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this, like in details a little bit to me?
Right, so what you see in front of you are ready to drink, ready to serve beverages. One for mind, which is for calmness, second for body, for
The one which
immunity.
I had is for the mind. yes.
Absolutely. That has the power of herbs like Brahmi, Shankpushpi, Gotukola in the base of coconut water.
Right.
We have tried to make Ayurveda non-bitter without adding any sugar, so it's 100% natural. And what you see here in the red and the green are the beverages for bringing the glow on your skin and making your body more immune.
Nice. What's your idea behind getting into the market of like FMCG with a beverage like this? Because we are very used to of like aerated drinks and you know like egg fizz. There, I don't want to take brand's name, but you understand, right?
Right.
So, your ideology behind introducing something like this in the market?
Right, so mostly people are looking for benefits of mind, body, skin, hair anywhere in the world in the form of supplements.
Yeah.
But popping a pill is not that aspirational. And therefore, the idea was that why can't we give the same benefits in a very aspirational format, in a very lifestyle format? And hence, beverage came to our mind the first.
Right.
So we have distilled the wisdom of Ayurveda in a single bottle in the base of coconut water. The idea of getting into FMCG.
So all the things are based on coconut water.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then grocery channel is a channel where most of the people are coming there to buy so many things for their daily lifestyle.
Yeah.
So therefore it is important to be present there. And then coming from my experience of working for 9 years with Unilever, FMCG was always close to my heart.
Oh,
So
interesting.
hence decided to do this thing.
Oh, you do have like already an experience in this field already, I guess.
Luckily, yes.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your background. Like, how did you what were you doing before this, and
Right.
how you like thought of doing something like this?
So by education, I'm a chemical engineer from IIT Delhi and joined Unilever straight out of the campus.
Okay.
Spent all my 9 years of professional career with Unilever in various roles in India, Switzerland and Singapore.
Cool.
Finally left Unilever in 2017 to start these FMCG brand called Auric, which is based on the tenets of beauty, wellness,
Yeah,
Ayurveda and healthy.
So Deepak, this was about Auric a little
Right.
bit. Now, since we are a career-oriented show, let's get into the business dynamics. Like, it's a startup, right? When did you start this?
2017.
2017 you started, so it's almost like 2 years now.
Absolutely.
And how has the journey been as an entrepreneur for you to kind of start this up? The challenges which you might have faced.
The journey has been really nice so far. There are so many things that you learn as an entrepreneur, whether it is about how do you negotiate or how do you sell.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is getting the consumers to understand the need that you have identified for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes that need comes directly from the consumers. Sometimes there is a latent need that the consumers don't know themselves, and sometimes you have to speak to them to
reach
bring that
them.
need to the surface. So that has been the most challenging aspect so far.
Right.
I think the second thing that comes to my mind is that as a startup you have limited marketing budget,
Yeah.
and therefore to reach out to the consumers you have to use those small ways to get out to the consumer. So whether it is standing in a park or in a farmer's market or in a salon or a store,
Yeah.
I think all of those things have been part of the journey so far.
Interesting. And are you offline, online, both? And how do you do it?
So online we sell pan India through our website as well as through channels like Amazon. Offline we are present in the stores in Delhi, Gurgaon and Chandigarh so far.
Oh, interesting. And so basically, this was a little bit of the journey, and your team must be expanding, right?
Right. So,
And I'm sure you are hiring in people.
Correct.
What are those things you look into them, like when you are hiring in people?
The first thing I look for is always whether that person has the patience and the perseverance to learn new skills and to be, the startup journey is always exploding every single day.
Yeah.
So you have to be always flexible to, get used to the new timelines, get used to the new ways of working. And most of the things you will not have learned before, because it's very rare that a person will come with all the skill sets. So sometimes you will have to learn it on the ground themselves. And that is something that whether that person has the ability to learn it when he comes into the company, and whether he has the patience and the perseverance to deal with the speed at which a startup works.
Interesting. And this falls in FMCG, right? And FMCG is a very competitive market. How do you tackle it? Like, there are like big fishes in the market where you, like people don't even need to think, they'll just come out of like, हाँ मुझे बिस्लरी चाहिए, हाँ मुझे ये चाहिए. In this world of competition, how do you how do you plan to kind of tackle it?
I think there are two things that make us stand apart. One is, of course, the fact that our proposition is very unique. We are selling beverages to make you look good. We are selling beverages to make you feel good. That is something as a proposition does not exist. Secondly, we are primarily focusing on direct-to-consumer channel through our website. Most of the big companies would have a huge offline distribution, and that is their game. We know that we cannot compete with them at this stage with our limited understanding of the market, with our limited funds, and therefore we focus online, which is where we think that is our forte as well.
So it's like more like for now, would you consider it as like a niche product, or you would consider it like you might not want it to be a niche product eventually, right? But right now it is a little niche because
Correct.
I mean, fair enough, but that's okay. And so for the young guys, they also have a lot of guys have ideas. Like even I also every second day, hey, this is a good idea. We should do a business on this. So to these people, what would be their advice or the tip or suggestion, whatever you would like to kind of pass on to them?
My single most advice is always that test out your idea with the people who are going to buy your idea. So the consumers who are your future consumers, speak to them. The moment you're going to speak to them, you will get so many ideas or so many better ideas or so many variations of your ideas. And those are the things that will actually make you, distill your idea in a much better idea. And that for me is the single most important thing. And the second thing is, as an entrepreneur, you are going to be working long hours, long evenings and long days as well as long weeks. So make sure that you're really passionate about your idea. If it does not come from your heart, it is very hard to be perseverant about your idea.
Deepak, thank you so much. It was although a very short chat. I wish I could have like spoken more, but thank you so much, and all the very best.
Thank you so much
for your future endeavors.
Thank you for having me here, and
For
thank you
sure.
so much.
For sure. And cheers. It's a nice drink.
I think I need to have a bottle as well to do the cheers.
Yeah.